Utah, when I was a boy, everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Plumegate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Plumegate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
They'll be calling you a radical. This is post-ignorance. If you're still in your blissful, ignorant slumber, then prepare to wake up. Ignorance is risk. Do you want to survive? Then stay untuned to this show for the next hour. My name is Drew Lamb, and I'll be your host for the first segment of this show. Kevin D. Blanch is currently flying to the aptly named Diablo Canyon for an anti-nuke demonstration. He'll be joining us shortly. Some of you know me as the aquaponics guy from Nuked Radio and In the Lie. I've also been on the Bob Tuskin Show and InfoWars. I'm also the co-host of Double Cross Radio. I help Jules with FukuShimaFacts.com, and I'm the owner of Pyramid Pure Foods, an urban farm where I grow freshwater fish and microgreens. I want to give a shout out to our friends in the chat today. I've been logged in listening to Before the First Cup with Jules while I've had a few too many cups of coffee this morning, so bear with me. I want to give a shout out to Anti-Tyranny News, Ban Jovi, Dan 10 EC, Dan B. Cooper, Ghost of Jimmy, Ombre 44, Jacqueline KZN, Jax Rocks, JJ, Joe Friday, Jules, Keeper of the Republic, aka Minor Dave. Stay tuned for Minor Dave. Excuse me, he'll be on my show later on with Chuck Horton tonight, Double Cross Radio. Let's see, who else is in the chat? Colo Zaveri, hope I said your name correctly. Lady Pitbull, Les 8, Lumberdeedle, Maddie Clues, Nice Bitch Zori. How's it going, Zori? Aussie Skateboard. I think Ozzy did the tunes for this show. Pretty kick-ass, if you ask me. Some nice industrial sounds there for Mr. Kevin D. Blanch. Vince, good to see you in there. Iota, Obla D. Obi. I think I said that wrong, sorry. Blinky. And a lot of anonymous listeners in there. So thanks for tuning in. So Kevin will be joining us in 15 or 20 minutes. I think he's currently in the air and landing in San Francisco. So I'll try to give you guys some useful information and hopefully entertain you a little bit until I can patch him in. This mess at Fukushima just keeps getting worse and worse with no end in sight. They can't fix the problems there, and in my opinion, they never will. In the meantime, we get blasted with a barrage of plutonium that's in our air, water, and food. Since this disaster started, I've had 8 friends or family members get cancer or have heart problems. 2 have died. Throat cancer, stomach cancer, ovarian cancer, neck cancer, brain cancer, bladder cancer, ankle cancer, melanoma, uterine tumors, heart attack, heart failure. It's happening all around us, and it's not normal. These people that I know, friends and family members, that these are not old people. These are people in their mid-30s to early 40s. I think my first friend that started having problems was my friend from Ashland, Oregon. He got throat and stomach cancer, so they just took it out. You don't need those things. I've got a cousin who lives up in Montana, got a rare bladder cancer that they'd never seen before, and she went to the Mayo Clinic. I said, yeah, you don't need your bladder anymore. So they took her bladder out and built her a new bladder. And so now she pees through a straw. So that's the reality of this mess. I have another friend in Portland. Well, he passed away in his early 40s, got a weird cancer in his ankle. He was an athlete, marathon runner, had a bunch of kids. He died. Another good friend of mine who was living up in Portland, early 40s, died from heart failure last August. Really bizarre. I have another friend in Portland who had a 70-pound ovarian tumor, and they shrunk it down, removed it. Cancer spread to her neck, then up into her brain. She's being treated for that now. My wife is being treated currently for a uterine tumor. 4 doctors have seen her. 2 say it's cancer, 2 say it's not. This thing's up to 7 pounds now, and she's seeing a naturopath trying to shrink it down. She wants to try to avoid surgery, and I completely agree with her decision. Chuck and I on our show, Double Cross Radio, interviewed Dr. Antonella Carpenter to talk about cancer treatments, and she said that the treatments are just as deadly as the cancer. If you get the cancer, you've got about 9 years. If you get the treatment, about 9 years. But this isn't always the case. I mean, you have people like Kevin who are hardcore fighters and have opted for the treatment, and they're beating it. But I would say that Kevin is a very rare man, and I think that a lot of that cure comes from his mind too. So he's got a very powerful mind, and strongly motivated to fight this. So there's lots of ways to take this, and it's an individual journey, of course. And you've got to listen to your experts, and then look at your situation and figure out the best course of action to deal with this. Kevin's a hero, in my opinion. Well, it should be in anybody's opinion, really. So let's take a look at my Geiger counter and check the plutonium levels. I am currently on the West Coast. I'm in a region that we are now calling the Jefferson Republic, which is an area between Northern California and Southern Oregon. And my Geiger counter, I have an Inspector EXP. It's currently reading 44 CPMs. That's alpha, beta, and gamma radiation. And it's been running around there for the past few days. We've been getting a lot of rain over here. We hear people go, oh, you get spikes during the rain. It's radon fallout. Well, yeah, but when you get Fukushima fallout or Chernobyl fallout or any of the fallout from these nuclear power plants, it comes down to rain and snow. So it's going to be higher then too. And I don't think you should just dismiss it as radon every single time. And there's ways to tell, of course. And those of you that follow this stuff understand that. You take a sample of water and then look at the rate of decay to try to figure out if it was radon or not. I want to point out that normal background radiation where I'm at used to be between 6 and CPMs back in the good old days. but not anymore. Now it's rarely ever under 30. I've seen it get as high as 350 CPMs. That was during a rainstorm in 2011, and that was on my Victorine CDV 700, and it actually buried the needle and flooded the Geiger-Müller tube before I was able to get it over to a new scale. That's something that the guys at Fukushima haven't figured out yet. You know, you add a few zeros to things and it changes the count significantly. So in the meantime, the energy industry, aka the military industrial complex, and the black and yellow journalists at the state stream media continue to lie and downplay the problem. We're seeing major problems in the food chain that started days and weeks ago after the meltdowns began. Early on, I tested milk from Oregon and vegetables from California and Mexico that were 5 to 6 times background radiation. Now fishermen in the Pacific Northwest are sharing pictures on forums that show salmon and steelhead with tumors. Hunters are sharing pictures of speckled geese that migrate between Alaska and Texas that are full of tumors. Pacific Coast fishermen near BC are returning empty-handed. That's British Columbia. Whales are foraging for food much further from the shore than normal. Alaskan seals appear to have radiation sickness. Starfish are melting. I'm sure everybody's heard that story, all along the West Coast. Conjoined twin baby whales were found off the coast of Mexico. Over 400 dead dolphins were found on the coast of Peru. But it seems that it's just merely conspiracy theory that this has anything to do with Fukushima. It's just a coincidence, right? And you can't do anything about Fukushima. No one can. Even if all the nuke plants were to be shut down, there would still be the issue of keeping all of the spent fuel cool for at least hundreds, if not thousands of years. Plants in cold shutdown are more dangerous than functioning nuke plants because offsite power is needed to keep the spent fuel cool. It's a problem without a solution. The genie is out of the bottle. So in order to shut these plants down, which we want them shut down, of course, because that way they'll stop making more nuclear waste and spent fuel, and almost all of them release tritium on a regular basis. So of course we want them shut down, but at the same time, where's the energy going to come from to keep all that old fuel cooled off, and also the reactor cores? All that has to be cooled off. So there has to be an alternate power source to run the pumps to circulate that water. Unless they could come up with a way to use the energy coming off those hot rods to run the pumps and circulate the water. I don't know. This, I'm an aquaponics guy. I move a lot of water around. I use a lot of pumps, so I work on problems like this, but I don't have to deal with meltdowns. If I have a problem, I just have to deal with dead fish. But this is an issue that has to be addressed. How does that stuff stay cool for years and years and years and years and years so that it doesn't catch on fire, melt down, and further contaminate our environment? So what can you do? Well, if you want to live to see the next day, and most of us do, then you need to take responsibility for yourself and focus on getting clean air and food. I don't have much time, so let's focus on the food. Mike Adams, the health ranger, released a video the other night showing the results of tests for heavy metals that his food lab performed on sea vegetables. Many people, including myself, have been taking supplements derived from kelp and seaweed to at least partly protect ourselves from the ravages of radioactive contamination. Kelp contains iodine, which is absorbed by your thyroid and is needed for normal function. Your body, however, cannot tell the difference between the good iodine and the radioactive iodine-131 that ends up in milk after black rains. Also, some forms of seaweed help with chelating heavy metals so they can be passed from the body. Unfortunately, sea vegetables tend to absorb heavy metals, and many sources are contaminated with lead, cadmium, uranium, aluminum, mercury, copper, arsenic, and lots of other stuff that you really don't want to consume. Back in the fall in 2011, I met Scott Munson of planttrees.org, and he told me that tests that he'd conducted with his Geiger counter on kelp in San Francisco Bay revealed that the kelp was radioactive. This was early on, but it could have been from a natural source. I mean, that happens often. You know, you'll see plants will phyto-extract uranium or lead, which is actually a byproduct of the decay of uranium, I believe. And so that's something that commonly happens, but it's radioactive nevertheless. I've been taking kelp supplements that contain iodine that were sourced prior to the Fukushima meltdowns. This doesn't mean that they're free of heavy metal contamination. I'm almost out, and I need a fresh source of clean kelp. Mike Adams' forensic food lab over at Natural News proved to be very helpful. I'm going to grab the link here for you guys, and I'll drop it in the chat. Bear with me for a moment here while I grab this link and put it in for you guys to check out. And also on Natural News YouTube channel, they had a video about the superfoods and sea vegetables that they'd been testing in their forensic food lab. So there was some really useful information in there, because I've been trying to figure out where my next source of kelp was going to come from, and I've been looking into growing my own kelp and growing my own seaweed using aquaponic systems and refugiums. But that's salt water, and that's very different than what I currently do. And so it could take me a while to get up to speed on this stuff, and I need the time and space and equipment to do some experiments with this. So it might be a while. So after studying his chart and doing a bit of research, I found a company from New Zealand called Waikato. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but they produce a heavy metal-free kelp. And, you know, I mean, I know some of you guys like your Twisted Sister, you know, and Metallica and whatnot, but you don't want it in your kelp. Anyway, this product is called Wakami. And I'm going to drop another link in here to their product that talks about the benefits of Wakami. And I actually ordered some of this, and they are currently selling it. This is sourced out of New Zealand, and you could order it on Amazon.com. Maybe you could even have a drone deliver it to you if you're lucky. Or unlucky. I think that I'll just wait on the UPS guy. Wakami is not only rich in iodine, which you need to protect your thyroid, it's also rich in magnesium and calcium. You need magnesium and calcium supplementation to protect your bones from absorbing strontium-90, one of the many elements of plutonium. That's Kevin's term, by the way. According to Waikato's website, Wakami helps to prevent heart disease, cancer, diabetes, blood clotting, and obesity. Wakami has beneficial effects on stroke, hypertension, high blood pressure, viral infections, tumors, oxidation, and inflammation, while promoting a good immune system. This sounds like pretty good stuff. I'm going to try it out. I think part of the harvesting process is that they salt it, and so I might wash the salt off of it before I eat it. But there's other studies. Chuck on our show, Double Cross Radio, has talked about how some forms of salt, like Himalayan salt, are good for you and have minerals that your body needs. And also your body needs iodine, that's what this is all about. But I'll just see how it tastes, and I'll talk about it on the air and see how it goes. I think I paid, what was it, $14 for around roughly a pound, I think. It seems a little bit expensive, but we'll see how it goes and how long it lasts. For those of you that listen to Alex Jones, I know there's going to be people in chat hating on Alex Jones, but I'm just saying that he runs these ads, never-ending ads, for his nascent iodine and his other product, Fluoride Shield. It's good to be looking for sources of supplements that can help your body from absorbing radioactive isotopes and to help your body chelate and pass heavy metals. But it's even better if these solutions can come directly from your food. So that was the point I'm trying to get, because you've just been, listening to these ads, you hear them all the time. But if you just kind of work it into your food, you're going to be getting other nutrients that your body needs as well. And so I've been trying to find a product like this for a long time. Modifillin is another product that you might want to check out. I think that's sourced from brown seaweed that comes from the same area of the ocean near New Zealand, and that's used for chelating heavy metals. And Matthew Stein, the guy from When Tech Fails, says that he takes that. When I spoke to him on Nuked Radio some time ago, he was talking about that. And so I might check that out too. So Kevin still isn't with us yet. Hopefully he hasn't been detained by the TSA. And when he comes in, I'll be patching him in. He'll be on a phone, and hopefully he can get a good connection. So, and hopefully the phone I'll be able to patch it through on my Skype okay. So, Jules, if you're listening, please let me know if there's any problems, if he's supposed to call in, if he's having any problems connecting with me, because then we'll have to go through the UC-wise Skype. But I tested it yesterday and everything was working out okay. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time. Oh, and here's Kevin right now. Perfect timing. Gonna patch him in. Mr. Blanch, how are you doing?
Good. Who's this?
This is Drew Lamb. We are live.
Oh, Drew, you're on. Great. I was hoping. Yeah, I'm in San Francisco. I'm here. I hope you got everybody calmed down nice and easy.
Yeah. We've been talking about clean sources of kelp and seaweed.
Yeah. Do you know where to get some?
Yes. So you are on your way to a demonstration at Diablo Canyon.
Right.
So I'm going to pass the mic off to you.
Okay, thanks, Drew. I appreciate it. Hey, I'll be calling you a radical. You're a bunch of radicals. I'm in San Francisco at the airport. Anybody? I got a couple of hello. Any of you latte eating, tomato drinking, organic, comfortably numb San Franciscans, come on over. We can have a latte. But anyway, I'm on my way to San Luis Obispo. I'll be there at noon. 1 o'clock, I'm going to have Jules, not this Jules, the other Jules, Central Valley Jules, drive me right directly to the Avia Pier. Now, it's Blue Hearts for Valentine's Day. I mean, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out the Blue Hearts, the Pacific Blue Hearts. We're going to pass out Blue Hearts on the pier on Valentine's Day from sunup to sundown. Now, there's a small group of activists who say they're going to show up. We'll see. It doesn't really matter because you can stay comfortably numb right in your dogma snuggie. So every one of you guys can just curl up in that nice dogma snuggie and watch my YouTube camera. You know, you can pretend you're there. It'll work. It'll work. It's a powerful genre. We'll get some great videos. And really, the ground zero fight for Fukushima, shouldn't it be right there on that pier? Because if you look directly, you stand on that pier and look directly across that big blue, magnificent gem, Fukushima. That's going to be a big week in the anti-nuclear fight. Our protest, now Kylie Fitzwater and the group of activists in Western Australia who are powerhouse activists are going to do a post-ignorance project in symphony with mine. And they're going to be protesting the uranium mines, the Queen's uranium mines. As that's where the uranium came from in Fukushima. It still does. Well, it makes it all the way around the world by the time it got there. Twice, as it has to go to Y-12, Tennessee, and get moxied, of course, for their secret nuclear weapons thing that's not so secret anymore. That got exposed in number 3 and number 4. Ooh, what's MOX fuel? And any of you that are just tuning in don't really know the nuclear feed. MOX fuel is nuclear waste. Their answer for nuclear waste, because there is no answer for nuclear waste. They lied to us for 40 years. Oh, we have an answer. We'll get there. Just let technology handle it. We'll get there. Oh, we got it. When we got it, when Einstein found them, they'll never get it. So what they do is they moxie it, which is a process with oxygen and heat and fire that turns it many, 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 many thousands of times stronger, and they turn it into nuclear weapons. Now, didn't we sign a non-proliferation treaty? Wasn't Gorbachev and Reagan handled that? Didn't every major player in the world went along with that? Oh, they all did. They all signed on. So we're getting rid of them, right? Wrong. The United States violates the law every day, all day at Y-12 in Tennessee. Now, what's Y-12 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee? As you know, I was there. Got a gun pulled on me, by the way, in a studio. Wow, you want to talk dogma? Those guys go to a whole new level of dogma. Y-12, Megan Rice broke into it. Tried to make a citizen's arrest, and it's, there's a lot of hyperbole about, she spattered blood all over. The blood was out of vials. Little teeny things of blood. Very little blood was ever spilled. And it's metaphorical because an activist from the 80s, one of the plowshare, brilliant genius, incredible real activists, wanted that done. That was his drink. He drew his vials of blood and one of them sprinkled in Y-12 because they know that's the head of the snake. The head of the snake is Y-12, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. They're violating the law every day, every day. New nuclear bombs are being made, not to mention the burning waste over the top of the whole region under the mantra of the Unpatriot Act. Megan Rice, Greg, and Michael broke into it. Now remember, this is the most secure place on earth, according to the United States military industrialized liars. That's the greatest thieves in human history. Foxconn, the evangelicals, the Mormons, Fox News, they all beat the drums. It's got you so in fear that when you go through an airport, it takes you 2 hours. The greatest overkill in human history because you're afraid of the boogeyman. Because they invented the boogeyman. They broke in. Blackwater's got us secured because we privatized it, just like we privatized everything else, so that the Queen's Army could freaking steal more money. Dick Cheney's Halliburton thieves could steal trillions instead of billions. They got tired of just having billions. They need trillions. 83-year-old nun with a pair of bolt cutters walked right through the fence in broad daylight. The most secure place we spend billions to guard. Sitting there for hours. Wrote some out of the book Isaiah. That's where they get plowshares from. By the way, Megan Rice is the daughter of Madeline Rice, who I knew very personally. The incredible, greatest activist, environmental activist in human history. Personal friend with Martin Luther King. She was a very old woman when she passed in 99, but she was an incredible woman. I met her in the Nevada test site because I used to protest out there because they nuked my father to death in the Nevada test site. She's the daughter of her. She's the daughter of Dr. Rice. She's the protege of Dorothy Day, maybe the greatest human rights activist in history. Dorothy Day, Martin Luther King, very close. Very close. Same mantra, same thesis, same human rights activists, the greatest in American history, maybe human history, for at least the last couple hundred, or the last 2,000 years. They go in there. They're there for hours. They get arrested. She's been arrested many times. She knows what she's doing. She's a genius. She's brilliant. They charge her under the Unpatriot Act for sabotage. So here she is in a courtroom in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Prosecutor they draw, he really thinks he's something. Theodore, the judge, he's going to make an example because he's an evangelical. He has Jesus on his side. When Megan Rice is the closest thing to Jesus in 2,000 years. And most remember this is not religious. This is philosophical. Most atheists love Jesus Christ's philosophy. He was a socialist. He was a radical. He was probably be labeled a liberal, which you in San Francisco even know what a liberal is. I like how you call yourselves liberal. It's like I like you guys to call yourselves conservative. There's no conservative about it. You're aggressive. None of you have a clue. Left, right, Blue pill, right pill, kneel left, kneel right. You're both lunatics. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're in your dogma snuggies, and you've taken the freaking party line, and you've sucked it in, lock, stock, and barrel, which the result on both is the same result. Economic status to the 1%. And you're the ones that did it. The 1% didn't do it. You fed it to them. She goes in that courtroom. They charge her. They says, well, okay. Now remember, this is an 83-year-old nun at the time. Plead guilty, plead guilty, plead guilty. Longshanks is telling her, come on, William Wallace, plead guilty. Plead guilty. No, I'm not going to plead guilty. I'm going to exercise my constitutional rights, which you don't even know what the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th are, because all you want to talk about is the 1st and 2nd. There's 27 amendments to the Constitution. They said, oh, we can't go back. Well, what about the 18th and the 21st? Oh, what's that? What's the 19th? Oh, what's that? I don't know. So she exercised her constitutional right to plead not guilty. So, oh, you can't do that. Not against the military-industrial complex. We're the Queen's freaking henchmen. We're the SS. Oh, we're going to charge you under the Patriot Act with sabotage. Now we're going to put you in prison for life. And while we're waiting your due process, forget due process, we're going to torture you. We're going to put you in a holding cell that people are only supposed to be in there for a few weeks for 8-9 months at 55 degrees. See how you like that one, this 83-year-old nun? Let's torture an 83-year-old nun, okay? The judge, when she was found guilty in the Kangaroo Court, the military-industrialized complex, Sister Rice, do you have any regrets? Beg for mercy, beg for mercy, beg for mercy. Yes, Your Honor, I have one regret. Let's hear it. That I didn't do this 70 years ago. Oh, that's it. Off with her head. Send her away. Don't let her out on any kind of bail, which by the Constitution you have to release, but no bail. I think, really, honestly, they wanted to send her to Gitmo. Oh, Barry Antoinette, let them eat cake? Oh, that guy who's going to shut Gitmo. Those guys that are sitting in Gitmo who have been there for how long? Oh, we have a Constitution? No, we used to have a Constitution till the Unpatriot Act, because you all got afraid of the boogeyman. Paid the Dragon Slayer. The House of Windsor pulled it on you again. So off to detention, Greg, Michael, and her. Oh, we're going to sentence them September 28th. So I scheduled my post-ignorance project protest at her father's classroom in the building of the Shirtwaist Fire in 1911 at Washington Square in NYU, where everything that ever happened. The first abolitionists stood their ground there, even before Hamilton. Of course, Hamilton was an abolitionist, the first abolitionist. He saw the slave trade. Right there where Pollock himself sat on the sidewalk in de Kooning. Mrs. Whitney just happened to walk by. Saw his work. Oh, those were WPA artists first before they were artists? Yeah. Oh, but there, I scheduled my thing to coincide with her sentencing. Oh, here they go with their secret freaking SS freaking Queen's Court. Nope, we're delaying it clear till January so we can torture her some more. Forget due process. Okay, she guts it out. She guts it out. I was in the courtroom on January 28th in Knoxville, Tennessee. I went to the most spiritual potluck in human history. Was Helen Caldecott there? No. Was Arnie Gundershield there? No. Was Chris Busby there? No. Was any of these Patrick, Henry, Pat, any of these people that think they're activists who jumped into this game? No. Was any of them there? No. Was I there? Yes. Because I really am anti-nuclear. I'm not like the rest. I want these fuckers to pay for the murder of my father. I have leukemia. I'm trying to stay alive. I'm like Megan Rice. I believe in what I do. I don't take on a cause unless I truly believe. That's why I'm going to Diablo Canyon, the most dangerous nuclear reactor on Earth that is in operation. The most dangerous nuclear reactors on Earth that are not in operation are Yacha, Fukushima. 3 of them in meltdown. As Helen Caldecott wants to do an argument with Hattrick Penry, Hattrick, or Tony, whatever his name is. They want to get into an argument about spent fuel in number 4? Really? When there's 3 full meltdowns? We know at least when there's multiple meltdowns all over. being poured in the Pacific Ocean for every day for 1,069 days. So we're in the courtroom. At the spiritual potluck, I sat with Mary Evelyn Tucker, had a long talk with her, the brilliant cousin, the head of environmental studies at Yale. I told her, where is Yale on Fukushima? Good question, Kevin. I don't have any clout there anymore. We sit there. We go in the courtroom. We're lined up. We got there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Court case starts at 9. They single filed us in there, delayed us so we couldn't get in there, but we got in. Theodore, this grandstanding, freaking phony, fake Christian prosecutor, goes on a rant. He goes on a rant and calls Megan Rice disingenuous. Right to her face. The whole courtroom's aghast. The plowshares, every real spiritual activist, every real anti-nuclear activist who really believes it, really is anti-nuclear. Every one of them are in that courtroom. Every one of them on earth are in that courtroom. We're aghast. We're like, ugh, everybody. Marianne Evelyn Tucker, whose logic is impeccable, she takes the stand. She looks right at little Theodore and says, I was really taken back when you used the word disingenuous. I've known Megan Rice my whole life. I knew her mother, Madeline. I know freaking her incredible father, Dr. Rice. You know, these people that met her, she's the most genuine person on earth. Everything about her, every fiber of her being from day one is genuine. She's truly genuine. I'm truly genuine. I believe in shutting every one of these down. She says, the giant lineage of Gandhi, the great giant lineage of Martin Luther King, the great lineage of Nelson Mandela. Megan Rice is that lineage. She is that lineage. And she's right. Theodore looks right up there. There'll be no questions. He cross-examined everybody. He wasn't about to cross-examine her. That judge, you could see him. Everybody in the courtroom was teared up. The one bailiff in the courtroom, he looked like he probably played offensive line in the NFL. This guy got to go 350. And this guy big, healthy. I looked over at him, tears in his eyes. You could see the judge was choked up. Boom, gavel goes down. Snow day. Court dismissed. We're waiting for Megan and Greg and Michael. And I got to hear Megan and Greg Michael's speeches the night before, as they partially were read. I mean, not all of them in full, but we got to hear little pieces of them. And they were powerful. And I mean powerful. These people are the real deal. They're unwavering. So the rumor I get is they tried to dance out. Rescheduled for February 18th, this Tuesday. I hope to be sitting in that courtroom again. See our sister Megan Rice, because she stood up for me. She stood up for all of us, so I stand up for her, because that's the way it works. That little rat weasel. Now let me tell you, this is how no due process, no constitution, no nothing. She has worked with her attorney, which, by the way, I have a really great photo. I've had a long talk with her attorney. He's great. And their young attorney. They have a young protege female. I have hope, because she's a young girl and she's smart. Long conversation with that attorney. He's outraged. He's aghast. It's changed his world. If anybody who's come in contact with has changed his world, she's changed their world, because she really is the real thing. She had the attorneys, everybody, and was all worked through the court. Everything was legal. It was okay. The 26th, I was there. She was going to do a phone interview from the jail with the BBC. It was a done deal. She gets ready to do it. This is Megan's words. The jail was really polite to her, treating her really good, and had it all set up, and some woman jailer, really rude to her, just attacked her and says, nope, there'll be no interview, done. She's like, why? The U.S. Marshal's Office has stepped in. Yeah, U.S. Marshal's Office, the Queen's henchmen. We have no Constitution, no 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th Amendment. You don't have the right to plead not guilty. You're guilty when they say you're guilty. You know, we get this fairy tale shoved up our ass. Innocent until proven guilty. Bullshit. Not in this freaking place anymore. This is the return of King George, 1774. Hamilton would roll over in his grave. Abraham Lincoln would roll over in his grave. McKinley would roll over in his grave. Teddy would roll over in his grave. Franklin would roll over in his grave. Martin Luther King would roll over in his grave. Bobby Kennedy would roll over in his grave. John Kennedy would roll over in his grave. Rachel Carson would roll over in her grave. Oh, yeah, what happened to every one of those? Every person I spoke of. Oh, they all took a bullet or a heavy dose of radiation. To stand on the truth is quintessentially American. To be against the monarchy system is the quintessential to be American. To stand up when the Queen's henchman, Larry Antoinette, as he's going to fly to Japan on April 22nd. The greatest Uncle Tom in human history, Barack Obama. And would I ever vote for a Republican? Never, not with a gun to my head. After what freaking W did to this country, after what the freaking evangelicals, the Mormons, they drank the Kool-Aid mass, murdered a freaking people with white phosphorus, murdered my father. Never. They're evil. So that's what they're doing to her. So a woman asked me the other day, said, Kevin, I would really love to meet Megan. I said, I think you probably blew your chance. I'll tell you why I think you blew your chance. Because if the government gets their way, she will die in a jail cell. Freedom. And the word is all Megan's the toughest person where she's 84 years old. Yeah, she's all tough. Well, I know her family. I've had conversations with her nieces, the young Megans. They're incredible people. They're the ones that get in to talk to her intimately. They told me personally, Kevin, she needs to be out. She needs to be out. She's been in too long. She wants out. But the Queen's henchmen are not that. She didn't break the law. She did not break the law. White 12 is breaking the law. Oak Ridge is breaking the law. The mass military industrial complex, and you support the lawbreakers because you're afraid of the boogeyman that does not exist. Oh, Iran has a nuclear weapon. Bullshit. No, they don't. It's all lies. The nuclear theater is just to keep these freaking hair-sprayed monsters in power. It is about power and control. Are there tools? Oh, yeah. Hamilton knew what the tools were. They're called tariffs. Because it's like this. This neocon Fox News Kool-Aid drinking moron that I know, I'm having coffee one morning, and we're talking Utah, and the murder complex was going on in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mass murder by the thief, the greatest thief in human history, George W. Bush. Dick Cheney and his henchmen are mass murder. You're all supporting it, beating the drums. Yeah, kill. We're Christians. We love killing people that never did anything to us. Completely asymmetric and opposite to any teachings of Jesus Christ. So there we stand. I have a friend. He's in the reserves. He's got his fatigues on. He comes walking up. As he's walking up, this guy gets up. Oh, thank you. Shakes his hand. He looks at me and he says, what the fuck is this guy thanking me for? And I says, he thinks you're a mass murderer in Iraq. He thinks you're fucking getting paid to go fucking murdering fucking the Queen's henchmen. He's proud of you. He says, well, I've been in the reserves for I joined the reserves to get the GI Bill so I get through college because I couldn't find a fucking job. You think I believe in this mass murdering fucking bullshit? I never even been over there. Go tell him that. So he walks over to him. And he says, hey, well, what are you thanking me for? Well, you got it fighting off then. He looks at him and says, fuck you. You dumb, ignorant, fucking dogmatic fool. I fucking hate this fucking war. I hate everything about this fucking war. I hate the mass fucking murdering of an innocent biblical place. Using white phosphorus on man. Oh, nuclear. Where do they make that white phosphorus? They spray it on their own Marines. Oh, at Y-12 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Oh, I thought that was against the law. I thought we signed a treaty to get rid of nuclear weapons when we're making more. Oh, we did. But there's two sets of law rules in America. One for 83-year-old and 84-year-old nuns. And if you don't abide, ask Martin Luther King. If you don't abide, oh, that happened right in Tennessee, too. Everything comes to a head in freaking Tennessee, Knoxville. Clear back. I'll go clear back to paddling canoe 500 years ago. Clear back to when DeSoto come in 500 years ago. You had to go through that pass to go east or west. The slave complex, all that came to a head in Knoxville, Tennessee. Just like Megan Rice. She knows exactly, because this is a war, and she knows it's a war. This is a philosophical war. This is the greatest war ever fought. Because every single piece of DNA in every living thing biologically is being murdered by Y12, by the mass murder military cut for profit. And Helen Caldecott, Chris Busby, and Arnie Gunderson are what I call war profiteers. They are they're not anti-nuclear. Megan Rice is anti-nuclear. Plowshares are anti-nuclear. I'm anti-nuclear. So we'll stand on that pier. We'll look across at Fukushima as you go in denial in your dogma snuggies. Left, right, neo, epic, ultra-competitive, go-nowhere zeros, $20 trillion in debt and spiraling. Your fake, false-stimulated interest rate to the zero side. So you can hinge to the, I'm the asset class. I'm the asset. Look at my house. Honey, we paid $200,000. It's worth it's worth $1 billion. Let's just keep refining leverage and live comfortably numb in our dogma snuggies. As they're contaminating our food chain, our air, our water. But they've gone too far. The oligarchs have gone too far. And we've empowered the oligarchs. How have we empowered the oligarchs? Oh, Tara, you protectionist. Oh, we can't. What did Ross Perot say? A giant whoosh. Oh, that's all hyperbole. No, it's not. The basic fundamental rule in economics, I'm an economist, from long before Jesus was around, simply, is it economically strong to enslave a people or enslave them? Is it moral to enslave another person? Well, you all believe that it is economically powerful, which it is opposite. Yeah, it's economically powerful to the 1%. Steve Chinese Jobs. I'm right here. He was called to the freaking Situation Room right after Obama was president. What about bringing our jobs back, Steve Chinese Jobs? They're gone and they're never coming back. Get it through your head. Oh, yes, as he bowed to him. The only thing not coming back is Steve Chinese Jobs. And remember this about him. All his money could another minute buy. One of my doctors is one of his doctors. He had 3 transplants, liver, pancreatic, multiple. He was a fanatic his whole life. He wouldn't even take showers for germs. I was a semiconductor analyst. I used to go to Apple. He wouldn't shake your hand. He wouldn't touch you. He was a germaphobe, a hardcore germaphobe. He was a vegetarian. He freaking did everything right. Oh, but he died of, what, pancreatic cancer at 54 years old? Oh, his money couldn't another. These arrogant, they've gone too far. This is the dynamic. This is the war. It's the Titanic. From a stowaway all the way to the great Guggenheim died on that Titanic. The richest man in the world to the poorest man in the world died on the Titanic. That's what this is. That's what this is. Oh, they can buy a bunker, live underground. You fall for that freaking hyper. That's Alex Jones, another war profiteer. Buy you an underground bunker. Buy you go eat some iodine potassium tablets. Stay untuned. Oh, we're testing the kelp now. Oh, 3 years later, we're testing the kelp. Well, I got news for every single one of you dogma fucks. They caught a fish a year and a half ago off the coast of Fukushima, 25 miles out. They tested its flesh, which nobody does this. Oh, we're going to study this, we're going to study that. Nobody tests the flesh. Nobody goes into the flesh of the fish. Nobody. It had 16,000 times the so-called safe limit of Pu-239, Pu-240, of strontium-90, Cesium 137, 134. I'm here to tell you, you eat that fish, you'll be lucky to be alive for another 3 months. Fish swim. Ocean currents move. The Pacific Ocean is not a fucking bathtub. That's what Helen Caldecott will tell you. That's what Arnie Gunderson will tell you. That's what Chris Busby will. That's what all these phony marine biologists. Oh, we got a tracer tuna study, which we don't even know the migration pattern of the tuna, the silver streak. Probably the fastest animal on Earth. Oh, fish swim. Oh, there's giant rivers in there. A bridge made it from Japan to the beach in Eugene, Oregon in 6 days after the tsunami. Oh, it was them Jews had a bomb. They just did it. Earthquakes never happen. Tsunamis never happen. So I stand right here in San Francisco. Look it up. How bad was that earthquake in the 1870s? Oh, once every freaking 10,000 years. What? They had another one just 30 years in 1906? What? Oh, earthquake in California. That could never happen. Let's build a nuclear reactor on the two most beautiful beaches in North America, San Onofre, which a year ago today I stood in San Onofre, was kicked out of the San Onofre hearing, which I helped organize. As we hammered the NRC, we caught them off guard with 1,200 people packed that meeting, and we let them have it. They followed me around, wouldn't kick me out, wouldn't even let me speak, but I didn't have to speak because my YouTube camera, my voice is spread from my mouth to your ear. And those people spoke for me. And we got San Onofre shut down. The second most dangerous reactor in the world. Because the jet stream moves left to right. Diablo Canyon sits on some of the biggest active faults in the world. As that phony piece of shit Robert Redford, I tell him all the time, he knows me personally, he hates me. Put this in your fucking film festival, you phony fuck. I go at him all the time. He's a fraud. They don't even watch those movies. Did you see what won the Sundance Film Festival this year? Oh, the movie about hauling waste from Diablo Canyon to Rocky Flats. Oh, you Denvers didn't know about Rocky Flats. Oh, you got leukemia too. Oh, my brother died, my sister died, my mother died, my child died. Oh, but I'm getting scared in California now because my real estate values are falling. Oh, because you're a self-indulged bunch of baby boomer assholes who are freaking killing me and my family. That's why I'm doing this. As Audie Murphy said when he came back from World, they tried to pin all those medals on him. What the fuck are you doing this for? I wasn't fighting for no fucking flag. I was fighting for my family, my mom and dad's farm. That's what I'm fighting for. My little Ella Marie's. As Ella Marie, somebody spoofed her and put out that's will never be royals. Her real name's Ella Marie. That's my daughter's name. That's our family's name. Somebody spoofed her and says, oh, she gave this speech at the Grammys, blah, blah, blah. I wish she would have. But no, it's just like every other pop artist, just like every other writer, just like every other television anchor. Throw them a little money, you're in the club. Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake. You're in the club. Welcome to the club. As his mother was a downwinder. Barack Obama's mother was a downwinder and died. That's why I call him Marie Antoinette. He supports the very industry that will kill many of us and his own family. You know, him and John, remember this, him and Briner, the two leaders, one of the neo-right, one of the neo-left, who run the show, are both smokers. Maybe they can sit around and scoff all their life. Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys that are dying of fucking cancer. Fuck Kevin Blanch, he's in a bone marrow transplant fighting for his life, given no chance to fucking live. We murdered his father at the fucking military industrialized complex. Oh, we gotta fucking stop it against those fucking terrorists. They're gonna get us. Ooh, the boogeyman's going to get us. Fuck everybody that ever died of cancer. Look, we have money. We have money. Well, that's all we care. We have money. We're in the club. We got into the Queen's Club. The House of Windsor let us in, Bill Walmart Clinton. The House of Windsor let us in. Everything we fought for in the Revolutionary War, all that blood and death in the Civil War, all that blood and death in World War I, World War II. Now, what did we do in World War? Oh, we took that entire inbred family out. All of them. There was one inbred family from Austria. In your head, in your head. We left one standing. Oh, yeah, we left one standing. You think it's ironic she named the baby freaking King Little George? 1774. Not going to happen, going to happen. They pulled it off. What do you think? He was standing on the deck. Mission accomplished. George W., mission accomplished. We got it all back. You guys got rid of that monarchy system. Oh, you left one standing. There are we. There are we. There is no we. There's the monarchy ruling class. And the far-right teabaggers, oh, the Koch brothers pulling on you. Oh, did they pull all these freaking protectionists? They're bad. They're bad. Oh, God forbid we make freaking Apple freaking pay some taxes instead of parking their $200 billion offshores. The United States of Apple. The United States of Google. That's what we're turning into. They got $200 billion parked out. Oh, we can't raise. Grover Norquist said not. one of the greatest terrorists in human history. Oh, tariff? We can't have tariffs. We like, because you and I, it comes down to you and I. Do we believe that to enslave another person is economically benefit? That's the age-old argument in economics. Well, you tell me, is it? Yeah, for 1%. The rest of it slaughters us. But you support it. Oh, no tariffs, which we always had tariffs. Is it immoral? Apparently, none of you think it's immoral. No, it's moral. It's moral. And I'll tell you why it's moral. It's moral because you say it is to enslave a person in China. Oh, we can't see them. They're slaves. They're making your goods. All your goods are made from slaves. Not me. I won't participate in the slave fucking economy. I refuse. I will not do it. But you'll do it. I won't do it. I'm going to protest on the pier. I don't care if it's just me. Because Diablo Canyon, if we have an earthquake there, the jet stream moves left to right. The whole country is so fucked. We had Chernobyl 25 years. Later, we have Fukushima. We're going to go another 25 years. Look at this. The Diablo Polo Club walking right by me. Here they go. It's all the young girls. They walk by me in San Francisco. Diablo Polo Club. Wow. Wow. Do you know what Diablo means? Do you know what that word means? The devil. Oh, is it the devil? We have an earthquake at Diablo Canyon. The jet stream moves left to right. This country is fucked. Everyone. Santa Opera, even though it's shut down, we're still fucked because the NRC's made the choice to store the waste on site. 40 years of waste stored on site. Just lays there. Just builds up more and more and more. So what's the answer? Oh, let's make more nuclear bombs. So we can threaten. We can be the big boys. And we can threaten other countries for their natural resource when it isn't even we. It's the uranium, the Queen's uranium mines, the Queen's Rio Tinto for copper mines, the Queen as they extract natural resource. We invade Iraq. Oh, we're going to get their oil. Really? We're going to get their oil? What, are you on the board of directors of freaking BP? You on the board of directors of Shell? You Dick Cheney's daughter? There is no we in this country. Unless it comes to nuclear fallout. Then we're all we. The only we, it's the 1% America that we handed them on a silver platter with our dogma and our rhetoric and our Foxconn minds. It's all them. There is no we. The 1% has all the wealth because we handed it to them on a silver platter. Because we have dreams, and our dreams, we're going to be one of them. We're going to be like Marie Antoinette, and they're going to let us in the club. Ooh, we're going to get in the club. We're on the winning team. But 3/11/11 changed all that. We're all the we now. From the richest to the poorest. Every one of us is the we. Oh, let the free market clean it up. Let the free market clean it up. Oh, the free market will clean it up in maybe 50,000 years when we get a new planet. Oh, there's nanotechnology. Oh, there's a cure for cancer. Just smoke some weed. I live in Bend, Oregon. I live in Eugene, Oregon. The most neo-right, comfortably left, which isn't even left. They don't even know what left or right is. Comfortably dumb. Not numb, comfortably dumb. San Francisco, just plain numb. I remember when this place used to be the place for activists. Not anymore. Not anymore. San Diego County? Hell yeah, they did a great job. They went toe-to-toe. I'll be on the pier this afternoon. You guys show up. I'll be there all afternoon on the pier at Via Pier, San Luis Obispo. I'll be standing there. From sun up to sundown tomorrow, I'll be passing out blue hearts. Happy Valentine's Day. Crawl back in your snuggies now. Stay tuned.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Boomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it.